Some of us didn't ask to be the strong one. Break time 0.3s. We became that way because we had to. Because no one else would step up. Break time is 0.3s. Because things fell apart when we didn't hold them together. Break time, 3s. Because we learned that being needed was the closest thing to being loved. So we kept the peace. Break time 0.3s. Smooth the tension. Break time 0.3s. Carried the unspoken. Until one day break time 0.5s keyed and we realized we were the only ones not being carried. This isn't resentment. Break time 3s, it's revelation. I'm tired. Break time 0.3s. Not of people, but of pretending I don't need help too. I'm tired of being the one who translates the silence. Break time, serums, fixes the moods. Break time, temps, and absorbs the chaos. This time, break time 0.5s. Durst, I choose truth over tension. Break time 0.3s. This time, break time 0.5s. I choose softness over sacrifice. This time, break time 5s. I stop being the one who always holds it all together and start being the one who finally lets go. It started early. Break time, and in rooms too quiet after arguments. Break time, 3s. It in glances exchanged between adults who didn't know how to say sorry. So I filled the silence. Break time 0.3s. And with smiles. Break time, or with solutions. Break time 0.3s. With it's okay before anyone asked if it really was. I learned to read moods like maps. Break time 0.3s. Anticipate tension before it exploded. Break time 0.3s. Soften my tone to keep the peace. At first, break time 0.5s, it felt like survival. Break time 0.3s. Later, break time 0.0s, and it became identity. They called me mature. Break time 0.3s. No, empathetic. Break time is level-headed. But what no one noticed was that I was shrinking bit by bit every time I made myself smaller so others could feel safe. I wasn't just keeping the peace. Break time 0.3s. I was bearing the chaos inside me. The price of harmony was my voice. Break time 0.3s. And over time, break time 0.5s. I forgot what my own needs sounded like. I became the fixer. Break time 0.3s, the buffer. Break time 0.3s, the emotional translator. But the truth, I was just a child trying to make a world feel safe by abandoning myself in it. And I carried that skill into adulthood until it became a burden that looked like strength but felt like silence. People praised me for being so balanced. Break time 3s. So calm. Break time 3s. So steady. Break time 0.3s. But they never asked what it took to stay that way. They didn't see the moments I swallowed my truth because the room already felt too heavy. Break time 0.3s. They didn't notice how I tiptoed through conversations, careful not to make anyone uncomfortable. They didn't feel the pressure I put on myself to always be the one who understands. Break time, the one who forgives first. Break time, the one who smooths over what others broke. This wasn't peace. Break time 0.3s, and it was performance. Break time 0.3s, and performing peace is its own kind of war. Because while everyone else got to be angry, break time 0.5s got to be messy. Break time 0.5s is got to fall apart. I kept being the one who cleaned it up. I thought that made me kind. Break time best 0.3s. But kindness without boundaries isn't generosity. Break time each 0.3s, which it's self-erasure. I became so good at being okay that no one thought to check if I really was. Even when my voice shook. Break time 0.5s, I still comforted others. Break time 0.3s. Even when my heart broke. Break time 0.5s, I still asked how they were feeling. I lived in the in-between between silence and resentment. Break time 0.5s, between control and collapse. Break time fives, between holding it together and wanting to be held. And one day, break time, halves, I finally asked myself, what would happen if I stopped managing everyone's emotions? Break time, 0.5s, and started honoring my own. That question didn't make me selfish. Break time, 0.3s, it made me real. Because you can't keep the world intact by disappearing from your own life. Break time, 0.3s. And I was done being the one who made everything okay by never being allowed to not be. I used to think peace meant absence of conflict. Break time, 0.3s. So I avoided conflict like fire. I held my tongue. Break time, 0.3s. Softened my words. Break time, just 3s. Said it's fine when it wasn't. Break time, just 3s. Let things go, not because they didn't matter. Break time, 5s. But because I didn't think I was allowed to matter more than harmony. But peace without truth is just quiet pain. Break time, 0.3s. And I became fluent in quiet pain. I could sense when tension entered a room and adjusted myself before anyone asked. Break time, I called it intuition. Break time, 0.3s. But really break time, 0.5s. It was survival. I didn't speak up, not because I lacked the words break time, 0.5s, but because I was afraid they'd make someone uncomfortable. Break time, 0.3s. Or worse, disappointed in me. I sacrificed my opinions for agreement. Break time, E.3s, wording of my boundaries for belonging. Break time, 0.3s, was my voice for approval. And slowly, break time, 0.5s, the more peace I created around me. Break time, 0.5s, the more chaos I buried within. Until one day, break time, 0.5s, I realized I didn't recognize myself. Break time, 0.3s, not because I changed break time, 0.5s, but because I'd never given myself a chance to be. Keeping the peace had become my full-time job. Break time, 0.3s, and the cost was authenticity. Now break time, 5s. I'm learning that peace isn't always quiet. Break time, or sometimes break time, 5s, and it's a hard conversation. Break time, 0.3s. Sometimes break time, 5s. It's shaking when you finally say no. Break time, 0.3s. Sometimes break time, 0.5s. It's risking being misunderstood to finally be seen. Because if I have to disappear to keep the peace, break time, 0.5s, then it's not peace I'm keeping. Break time, 0.3s. It's control. Break time, 0.3s. And I'm done disappearing for comfort that doesn't include me. It didn't happen with fireworks. Break time, 0.3s. No dramatic goodbye. Break time, 0.3s. No slamming of doors. It was a quiet afternoon. Break time, 0.3s. And I was standing at the sink. Break time, 0.5s. About to say yes to something I didn't want to do again. And I paused. Not because I had a plan, break time, 0.3s. Not because I was angry, break time, 0.3s. But because I felt this tiny break time, trembling voice inside me. Whisper, please. Not one more time. I had ignored that voice for years. Break time, 3s. Covered it with smiles. Break time, 3s. With logic, break time, 0.3s. With being the reliable one. But something in me that day said, if you say yes now, break time, 1.5s. You're saying no to yourself again. Break time, 3s. And maybe this time, that matters. Break time, 3s. So I said no, break time, 0.3s. Not loud, break time, 0.3s. Not cruel, break time, 0.3s. Just honest. And everything didn't fall apart. Break time, 0.3s. People adjusted. Break time, 0.3s. Some were surprised. Break time, 0.3s. Some were disappointed. Break time, 0.3s, but I wasn't. For the first time in a long time, break time, 0.5s. I felt peace inside me, not just around me. That moment didn't change the world. Break time, cuss, but it changed my world. It taught me that choosing myself would feel uncomfortable at first. Break time, finding, but comfort isn't the same as care. And now break time, when I feel that old guilt rise, break time, I remind myself every time I say yes to what drains me, break time, I betray the part of me that's trying to heal. I'm not here to keep everyone else afloat by drowning quietly. I'm here to live break time, threes, fully break time, threes, softly break time, threes, honestly. And that starts with a single break time, 5s, sacred word, no. There's a grief that no one talks about, the grief of being the one who always shows up. Break time, 5s, where it always fixes it. Break time, 5s, where it always keeps it together. Not because you were stronger, break time, 0.3s, but because no one ever asked if you needed support too. Over time, break time, 0.5s, you learn to comfort yourself in silence. Break time, 0.3s, is you become fluent in pushing through break time. 0.3s. You stop expecting softness because you've become so good at giving it without asking for any in return. But deep down, break time, 0.5s, there's this ache. Break time, 0.3s, not loud, break time, 0.3s, not sharp, break time, 0.3s, and just constant. An ache that whispers, break time, 0.5s, when is it my turn? You watch others fall apart and get gathered, break time, key, 0.3s. You offer tissues, break time, inima, 0.5, wisdom, break time, near, pain 5, safety, break time, rear, 3s. But when your own world shakes, break time, near, 0.5s, it's quiet. Because they think you're the strong one. Break time, .wise, the anchor, break time, wise, the steady ground. They don't know you cry in the shower, break time, .3s, that your calm is practiced, break time, 0.3s, that your smile is often just a cover. You've taught the world you don't need anything, break time, 1.3s, and now they believe you. But here's the truth, even the strongest hearts need rest, break time, 0.3s. Even the most giving souls need someone to hold them. Break time, 0.5s is too. You are not weak for needing break time, 0.3s. You are not selfish for longing. Break time, 0.3s, is you are human. And the next time your chest tightens, break time, 0.5. Push and you feel like breaking, don't wait for someone to notice at break time, 0.3s. Speak, break time, 0.3s. Reach break time, 0.3s, and you receive. Because strength isn't in how much you carry alone. Break time, 1.3s. It's in how bravely you let yourself be carried when your own weight becomes too much. They never had to tell me outright, I just learned everyone else's needs come before mine. So I picked up the phone when I was exhausted. Break time, 0.3s. I said yes when my chest screamed no. Break time, to the shire 3s. I rearranged my time. Break time, 0.5s, is my peace. Break time, 0.5s is just my energy so others could stay comfortable. And when I dared to ask for space, break time, just shives. When I whispered a need, break time, just sheep ives. When I paused instead of fixing, that guilt came flooding in. The guilt of disappointing, break time, 0.3s, of being too much, break time, 0.3s, of not being who they expected me to be. I had been cast in a role, the giver, break time, 0.3s, the healer, break time, 3s, the one who holds it all. And every time I stepped out of that script, break time, 0.5s, and it felt like betrayal. But one day I realized if I kept abandoning myself to avoid their discomfort, break time, I was teaching my heart it didn't matter. So I started small, break time, 0.3s. So I let a call go to voicemail. Break time, 0.3s. I canceled something without guilt. Break time, 0.3s. I said, break time, 0.5s. I need time. Break time, 0.5s. And didn't apologize. And the world didn't collapse, break time, 3s. But something inside me finally began to rebuild. Now break time, 0.5s, when guilt shows up. Break time, you're on 5s. I greet it gently. Break time, 0.3s. I thank it for trying to protect me. Break time, 0.3s. And then I reminded, I'm not selfish for choosing myself. Break time, 0.3s. I'm sacred. Break time, 0.3s. And my life is not a service to everyone else's comfort. Break time, 3s. It's a home I deserve to live in. Break time, 5s, 2. There comes a moment not loud, break time, 5s. Not dramatic when your soul whispers, you don't have to keep doing this, break time, 3s. I was standing in the middle of another obligation. Break time, 5s, where you're smiling. Break time, 0.9s, nodding. Break time, 0.9s, feeling the weight of expectations pressing down on my chest. And suddenly, while I felt nothing, break time, 3s, not anger, break time, 3s, not even sadness, break time, 3s, so just stillness. And that stillness held a truth. I was tired of performing alignment in a life that no longer fit me. I had been so loyal to my roles, the one who fixes break time, 3s, the one who manages break time, 0.3s, the one who always says yes, that I forgot I had the right to lay those roles down. No one ever told me I could break time, 0.3s, and in fact break time, 0.5s, as it felt dangerous to stop break time, 0.5s. Like I disappoint someone, break time, 0.3s, and break something, break time, 0.3s, be seen as not enough, break time, 0.3s. But here's what I've learned. Sometimes strength isn't pushing through break time, 3s. It's stepping back, break time, 0.3s. It's sitting down, break time, 0.3s. It's saying, I can't carry this anymore. Break time, 0.3s. And maybe no one applauds that break time, 3s. Maybe no one even notices break time, 0.3s. But your nervous system will break time, 0.3s. Your heart will break time, 0.3s. Your breath will. You were never meant to hold it all forever. Break time, 3s. You were meant to live, break time, 3s. To feel, break time, 3s. To rest. And the day I finally stopped break time, 0.3s, was the first day I started coming back to life. For so long, break time was for 0.5s. I believed my worth was measured by how much I could hold. Hold the tension, break time, on us 0.3s. Hold the expectations, break time, 0.3s. Hold the room together when it felt like breaking. I became everything for everyone, the safe place. Break time, 0.5s, and the steady hand. Break time, 0.5s, with the one who could always be counted on. But no one asked what it cost me to be so dependable. Break time, 0.3s. No one asked who I became when I stopped checking in with myself. And the truth is, break time, 0.1s. I didn't know how to exist outside of usefulness. Until one day, break time, 0.5, I sat in the quiet and asked, what if I don't do anything today? What if I just am? And the world didn't end, break time, 0.3s. The sun still rose. Break time, 0.3s. People found their own strength. In me, I felt a new kind of power, the kind that doesn't come from being needed. Break time, 0.5s, but from being whole. Now break time, 0.4s. I no longer rush to fix, break time, 0.3s. I no longer chase approval and overgiving, break time, 0.3s. I no longer believe that being everything to everyone is why I'm here. I'm not here to earn space, break time, and 0.3s. I'm here to be break time, 0.3s, to breathe, break time, 0.3s, to love without losing myself. And if that means letting go of the version of me that held it all, then so be it. Because I'm finally learning, I don't have to be everything to be enough.